Samar Anand is a major in the Indian Army, defusing a bomb without any fear or concern for his safety. Soon he is done and the market is safe again. After that, he drives off on his motorcycle, spending that time to think deeply. He spends most of his time by himself, camping and writing his thoughts in his diary. Meanwhile, a girl named Akira has lost a bet. She dives into the lake in Ladakh. Soon she realizes that the water is too cold and she panics. Samar enjoys his coffee, while she screams for help. She disappears under the water, and next she wakes up to Samar performing CPR. She is upset with him for not coming to rescue her earlier. Then he just drives off. She is still wearing the jacket he had given her. Akira is there with her work friends, because they work for the Discovery Channel, making documentaries. She is an intern and desperately wanting a promotion. She asks her boss to take her to London with her, but she says no. Akira throws the army jacket on the floor, from which a diary falls out. She then starts reading it. Samar's story starts when he was 25 years old. He did many odd jobs as a struggling immigrant to make a living in London. He had already lived many years, but he recounts one particular day where his life had actually started for the first time. That was the day he saw Mira running across the snow. He was shoveling snow as part of one of his jobs. Mira regularly visited the church where she shared her good news with God and Jesus. She also asked for specific things, such as someone wanting to set her up with an Indian guy, but she does not want her father to like him. When she was little, she prayed and asked not to marry an Indian man one day. She leaves and it is revealed that Samar had been listening the whole time. Samar shared a very small, simple apartment with his friend, Zain. Samar usually went out, performing as a street artist, where he would earn extra money. But this was more like a passion for him. He performed in the city center, where Mira would admire him and his music. One day she tipped him and he saw her up close. One of Samar's other part-time jobs was working at a fish market. One of his customers really liked his work ethic and offered him a job at a fancy restaurant. Samar was very happy about this. Soon, he was working at a very special event as a waiter. He saw Mira and was stunned. He was waitering at her and her fiancé, Roger's engagement party. Mira was sitting outside by herself, having a smoke, when Samar also came outside to take out the trash. She recognized him as the guy who performs as a street singer. She wants to know why he's here. He explains that it's not possible to make a living in London with only one job. He admits to listening to her confession in the church, when he was working there, and she is shocked. She explains that she is very happy with Roger. But he says it doesn't look like it. When he put the ring on her finger, she looked at everyone else and not at him. She had left her own engagement party to be here alone. Meanwhile, Mira's father is very impressed with Roger's work at the company. He cannot wait for him and Mira to get married. He feels that it is the right time for him to retire after his 50th birthday. Mira has been working hard to plan his birthday party. One day, Mira hands Samar £500, because she wants him to help her with singing lessons for 1 hour every day for a month. Samar wants to know why singing is so important to her. She never learned Punjabi. She explains that her father is Punjabi and she knows it will be a special surprise if she can sing a Punjabi song at her father's party. But there is a problem. He doesn't feel right taking someone's money by teaching something simple such as singing. However, he suggests they make a deal. He teaches her singing, while she teaches him proper English. They make a deal. They soon begin their lessons. He helps her with singing and she helps him with English. They spend more time together and Samar tells Mira more about his personal life, where he grew up and about his family. Mira sings in the park and Samar isn't too impressed. She sings perfectly, but she doesn't express joy while she sings. She's afraid that people will hear her. This frustrates her. Samar has an idea. He wants to take her to a secret party place, called the Tunnel, to make her lose her shyness. She wants to know why he's doing this and he replies it's because he wants to show her who she really is. Later, Mira arrives at the tunnel, seeing many people dancing. She runs into Samar, who acts like he doesn't know her and introduces himself as Raj. They flirt a little and share a special moment. The dance battle begins. Mira and Samar share glances in the crowd and he challenges her to dance. She enters the dance battle, interacting with others who join her. Samar joins her. They connect after their dance. Samar is stunned at seeing her true self. She thanks Samar for giving her the best time of her life. He tells her that she is actually this tough, fierce girl. Now that he has fallen for her, he doesn't know what to do. She is surprised by this. But he understands she will be getting married to Roger. The train arrives, but she decided to miss it. He comes closer and kisses her. She is left confused and happy. He walks away feeling ecstatic. Another night, Mira performs at her father's birthday party. She imagines Samar is there and that he kisses her. Her father is moved by her performance. Samar moves into a better apartment with Zain. Mira continues to work, but sees Samar in every street performer. Samar has gotten a promotion at work. He wants to call Mira, but stops himself. One night, Mira comes to see Samar. They eat together, where she reveals that she will marry Roger, because that's what her father wants. He has given her everything. This one time he asks something of her, she will do it. She reveals that her mother had run away with another man when she was 12. Her father did everything he could for her. She had never even told Roger about this. She takes Samar to the church, so that he will help her make a promise to never cross their line of friendship, because she had also fallen in love with Samar. Both of them are not happy. One day at work, Mira receives a parcel. It's from her mother, who had contacted her for the first time in many years. She sent Mira her wedding lehenga and a letter. Mira shows up at Samar's work. She had talked to Samar about her mother's letter. He suggests that they both go to see her mother. Mira's mother is called because someone is waiting for her. She is shocked to see Mira and cries. She explains to Mira that she was only 19 years old when she came to India with her husband, Mira's father. She was happy, but never really loved her husband. Until one day, she met Imran and felt real love. She feels guilty for leaving, but knew that if she wasn't happy, others around her wouldn't be happy. Mira feels bad, because for years she hated what her mother did. But she is now an adult and understands why she left. Mira's mother hands Samar all the gifts she'd never been able to give Mira over the years. Mira thanks Imran for taking such good care of her mother all these years. After their visit, Samar and Mira stop for coffee, where she tells him that she loves him. He reminds her she is crossing the line, but she doesn't care and kisses him. After that they are very in love and spend lots of time together. One day, Mira promises Samar that she will speak to her father about them and that he will have to agree. Samar rides off on his motorcycle and screams that he loves her. But he does not pay attention to the road and ends up in an accident. Mira makes a deal with God, asking that if God saves him, she will never meet Samar ever again. The paramedics revive Samar and Mira is relieved, but now this means that she can't meet him ever again. After a few days, Samar is out of the hospital, but he struggles to reach Mira. Then Mira visits Samar and he is very happy to see her. She tells Samar about the deal she made with God and he thinks she has gone crazy. She tells him that he will be punished for being with her and that she will marry Roger. He is deeply hurt and pretends to be happy for her. Zain later returns. Samar has left all his money for him with a note saying that he should make something of himself. He is going back to India, but will return someday to take his share. Samar sits in the church, telling God that this isn't right, he had stolen his love from him. Now he will challenge death every day and see how long God keeps him alive. Later, he is a soldier in the Indian army. Akira is really sad after reading all this. She returns to the lake where she meets Samar and thanks him for lending her his jacket. Right away she asks him about Mira. But he says to just leave it as a story. Akira begs Catherine to give her a chance to make a documentary on the Indian army in Kashmir. She agrees and Akira is very excited. The general thinks it will be a great opportunity to have a documentary about them. It will inspire youngsters to want to become like Samar. Akira starts her 2 weeks at the army base. Samar isn't too friendly with her, but she meets the other soldiers who are very welcoming. Samar gives Akira the orders to remain 350 feet away from where he is working at all times. He continues to defuse a bomb. The bomb is in a car, but has a wire that leads near Akira. She is listening to music and can't hear. She steps on something, which makes the small shed explode. He yells at Akira for breaking the rules. He tells her that her filming ends here. But she refuses to go back. She reminds him that Mira is his passion and his story is her passion. She can't quit her passion. Later, they are camping and Samar goes away for some quiet time. Akira follows him and decides to record him when she hears him singing. Later, she admires her recording of him as she starts falling in love. She thinks he will fall in love with her. The next day, Akira and some other guys are playing soccer and one of the army members films them, when he accidentally drops the camera. It is not possible to fix it here, and he is very sorry for breaking the camera. But Akira is fine with it and says at least she tried with the Discovery Channel and decides to go to bed. Akira tells Samar that the next day he'll finally be rid of her. The rest of the squad feel sad that she is leaving. The next day, they show Akira her camera and say that it was Samar who fixed it. He did it because he knows what it means to have this kind of passion. As Akira spends more time filming Samar and his work, he starts liking and tolerating her more. She asks Samar one last question, which is why he never wears a bomb suit. He replies that bomb suits protect us from physical danger, but what's the use if they don't protect us from the real dangers and sorrows of life? Life hurts you more than bombs can. Samar admits that he was very wrong about Akira. She says he didn't ask her anything about him. He asks if there's anything she can't do, and she admits that she couldn't make him fall in love with her like she is in love with him. This is the first time a guy didn't chase after her. She knows she'll never find anyone like him. He tells her that she can love like him, but shouldn't fall in love like him. Because the world will lose something if she loses her laughter and character. The next day, Akira says goodbye to everyone. They are all a little sad. Some time later, Catherine reviews Akira's film of Samar, titled The Man Who Cannot Die. This makes Catherine cry, even though she never cries. Catherine wants Samar to come to London as soon as possible, but Akira says he won't come. If he doesn't come, Akira's story won't be aired. Akira calls Samar and is excited sharing the news. But she also tells him of one problem, that he needs to come to London. She asks him nicely to come, but he feels bad telling her that he cannot. Akira reveals to her work friends that she will return to Delhi soon. She has accepted her failure. Then her phone rings and it's Samar. He has arrived at her offices and she is very excited. She is very happy to see him. But Akira is too excited and she walks into the road. Then Samar saves her from ongoing traffic and he is hit. He has surgery and later wakes up in the hospital, calling for Mira. But Akira shows up and he is very upset. The next day, the doctor checks on Samar. He thinks that he is living 10 years in the past. Dr. Khan explains to Akira that he has retrograde amnesia, which means that he remembers everything up until the previous accident in London. The solution is to contact people he knew while in London. Dr. Khan shows Akira a list of people, contact details in London. Akira knows about Mira. The next day, Akira goes to see Mira at her house. It's a little girl's birthday party, which could be Mira's daughter. Akira finds Mira at her work and tells her that she needs to talk to her about Samar. He keeps asking for her. Dr. Khan informs Mira that she needs to be very gentle, because any shock could permanently damage him. He is very happy to see her and he thinks they are together. Later she cries. Dr. Khan asks Samar what he last remembers and he mentions the previous accident. She explains that what he remembers happened 10 years ago. He is shocked and doesn't understand. He also thinks that he and Mira are married and she lies and says they have been married for 5 years. Akira doesn't feel right about this, because Mira has a husband and daughter. Then Mira reveals that that isn't true. She says that Roger is a good friend and he is divorced, so she helps him plan his daughter's birthday every year. Mira and Akira visit Zain, who now owns a restaurant. He is very happy to see Mira and tells them about what Samar did for him. The next day, Zain picks Samar up and tells him about the successful restaurant they have together. Mira welcomes Samar at her home. As Mira takes care of Samar, she begins to feel very guilty. She tells Dr. Khan that she can't do this anymore. But Akira asks her to keep pretending for a little longer, because his progress is going so well. Dr. Khan thinks that it's time that Akira meets Samar, as this might make him remember more. Zain takes Samar for an interview, saying that the Discovery Channel is covering his success story from laborer to restaurant owner. Samar meets Akira and thinks he is meeting her for the first time. Akira interviews him near the church he used to work at. He takes Akira for a ride on his bike. He goes to the restaurant where he was a manager, telling Akira that if it wasn't for Frank, he would have returned home and become a soldier. He sings the song he sang as street singer. He tells Akira that this is the song he sang and wrote for Mira, which brought her to him. He says they were made for each other. Later, Mira meets with Akira. She tells Mira that today she met the real Samar Anand for the first time. The Samar she knows is like a ghost. He only lives to love Mira. Akira thinks that Mira is stopping herself from fully being with him because of her. But Mira replies that every day she wants to break the promise she made with God. Akira says that she stayed away so Samar could live, but if she isn't with Samar, he might as well already be dead. She needs to go and live. Samar is waiting for the train, when the police call everyone to evacuate. There are sirens and suddenly he has a flashback of the army. He goes to investigate what's happening. The police tell him not to come further. But Samar knows what type of bomb it could be and they let him through. He carefully defuses the bomb while memories from his past come back. He suddenly remembers that he is from the bomb disposal squad. Old memories come back and he is very upset. Mira meets Samar in the church. He says they should get married again, but soon Mira realizes that he had figured everything out. He says he had figured out God had played a game with him, because he had brought him back into Mira's life after so many years. Then when things were perfect, he slammed him back into reality. Samar is angry that Mira still chooses to honor her deal with God and not be with him. He tells her that he is going home. He lived without her for 10 years and he can live without her for another 100. Samar says goodbye to Akira. He says that if he gets reincarnated, he wishes to meet and love her. He would like to come back as a modern lover, but Akira says the way that he is perfect. They both feel bad saying goodbye. Some time later, Samar is busy defusing a bomb on a bridge in India. After he is done, he sees Mira. He wants to know if he is going to die today. She tells him that he wasn't the only one who suffered these 10 years. She died with him every single day. She understands now that God didn't keep him alive to be without her, but to be with her. He asks why she couldn't have understood this sooner, and she replies that he knows she takes a little longer to understand things. Mira says that before it wasn't their time, but now is their time. Samar is called to defuse another bomb. He asks Mira that she shouldn't pray for anything, but just love him. Because nothing can keep him away from her. At the same time in London, Akira presents her story of Samar, the man who cannot die, to an audience. Akira admits that she thought she was going into this story to discover action, bravery and courage, but instead she discovered love. She explains that Samar is now defusing his 108th bomb, which will be his last. Because now is his time to live. Now it's his time to love. He comes back, proposing to Mira, and she accepts.
This is not a story of courage. It's not a story of miracles. It's just a simple story of love.